Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. The news continues to come in here. An F-15E Strike Eagle down over Iran. They are waiting right now for reports on the second pilot. The first pilot has been recovered, so they are waiting to find out the details on the second pilot. And we wanted to speak to somebody who could talk a little bit more, give us a little more context to a situation like this. The only thing I have to offer up is heartfelt prayers that this second pilot is found quickly and that the first pilot is in good shape upon rescue. Let's get to our guest, Senator Jim Talent, former United States Senator from Missouri and Congressman, Chairman of the Reagan Institute's National Leadership Council. Senator, thanks for being with us this afternoon.
It's good to be with you, Annie.
So give me your thoughts. The news of this F-15E going down is not what anybody wants to hear, of course. Iran is going to make of it whatever they want to because that's what Iran does. Try to give us some facts, information, and perspective on this moment.
Yeah, sure. The key, of course, is, for lots of reasons, is to recover both pilots. We've got one of them. Now, to get into the tactical details of this, you're going to need an aviator, okay, which is not me. Mm-hmm. But the Air Force does have specially trained combat rescue units. So do the special ops guys. And they are trained in this. It is a priority for the military, both because just you want to get your team member back, your comrade back, but also because it's very important for esprit de corps and morale for these pilots to know that if they do go down, every effort will be made to recover them. So the A-10s are out, the helicopters are out, they're moving freely over southern Iran. Now the pilots themselves, and the same for the wingmen, they're equipped with a number of communication devices. Some of them are very sophisticated, like satellite communications. Some of them are pretty primitive. I mean, I remember a brief on this many years ago. They told me they'll have mirrors, in other words, they'll reflect the sun. Mm-hmm. So we've done everything we can both to prevent this and then to ensure recovery. And we just have to, as you said, to hope and pray that we get this guy back.
Senator Talent, when something like this happens, I've just paid attention to some of the commentary that's been on mostly Fox News today. But these pilots, part of their training is what to do in a situation where your plane goes down. They are equipped for this. Obviously, they have to be able to successfully eject, be able to successfully land with their parachute. But what they do next, they are also trained for, is my understanding.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the idea is how do you communicate to signal your location? How do you put yourself in the best position to be recovered? They're all trained with that. Now, we don't know if this serviceman has been disabled or hurt in some fashion. I've seen nothing from CENTCOM. I've seen some other things on X from sources that I do trust that showed some film of the recovery efforts, but nothing about his condition, except they're flying over southern Iran. So, I mean, that's a lot of space, southern Iran. On the other hand, and this is a question I'd ask if I could get to somebody I could ask it, is they recovered the first guy. Now, they got separated on ejection, but I would think that would limit the search space at least somewhat, and because they knew where they recovered the first one. So let's see if we can get him back. Let's pray we can get him back. And, if we can't and the Iranians get him, we have to be prepared for they'll parade. Well, what I shouldn't say. It's going to be interesting to see if they do get him, what they do with him. What they ought to do is treat him as a captured prisoner of war and treat him decently, knowing them that's certainly not going to be their instincts. But on the other hand, if they want to bring even bigger punitive measures down on themselves, they'll mistreat him.
Senator Talent, the Fox News reports on this are that the IRGC have claimed that they have shot down this U.S. fighter jet. Have you heard any definitive explanation as to why it's gone down? Could have been an array of things.
Yeah, I assumed that it was shot down by hostile action, but it could be malfunction, something like that. And I've not seen anything, as I said, out of CENTCOM until we do. They won't release the name because they're going to want to tell the family first. But until we get something from CENTCOM, I don't trust anything except what I know about the systems we have and the protocols we have for recovering downed airmen.
You know, we've heard very consistently, and I would say boastfully, from the Secretary of War and from President Trump that we can fly with ease over Iran, that we have complete and total air superiority. Is that not the case?
Does this disprove that? Well, I wouldn't say so, because it's like when you make a statement like, and I've said the same thing, I think, in interviews. There's a 1 out of 100 shot, that something might happen if they were able to shoot him down. So, and I kind of think that's a given. Maybe they didn't qualify it enough. Maybe that's fair. That question will get asked, I'm sure, and we'll see how they respond.
Do you expect for the administration? It's hard to predict, obviously, what would happen next from the Department of War, from President Trump, from the Oval Office, but is an instance like this, I heard Jennifer Griffin report at one time that the frequency with which we've been running missions, flying planes in this area, in this hostile area, that to go 32, 33 days into this mission and have something like this happen now, she was actually saying that it's pretty amazing that it's taken this long for an incident like this to happen. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Which is what Secretary Hexed would say if they questioned his statement about total air superiority, because he would say, well, yeah, we've flown, what is it now, 14,000 sorties. We haven't had this incident or anything like this to this point. I mean, if that's not total air superiority, I'm not sure what is. Mm-hmm. It's not a reason for disturbing or changing the policy or changing the evaluations we've had about the overmatch that we had. In other words, the fact that this was a mission which from the beginning was, the military mission itself, the precision strike campaign was a mission which from the beginning you knew we were going to be able to do with overwhelming force and with minimal amounts of risk. And that is still true. This is a contingency we have to deal with. And then if they do capture them, we're going to have to deal with the fallout from this. Now, we don't, and we should not, give away national security interests to recovered, captured people, particularly captured servicemen and women. This is part of the risk that they run. We do everything we can to get them back short of that. So what else? If they do get them, then what we will use is additional sticks. And the president talked about them the other day. We have not yet attacked the economy proper. We've attacked military-related segments of the economy, but not the economy proper. There's a dozen options that we still have to impose greater punishment on the regime. We're attacking any. If you want to think about this from a military strategy point of view, and I'm not von Clausewitz, okay, but we're attacking their center of gravity. We're attacking their ability to generate and sustain coercive power, and destroying that, because that's the hub around which the whole regime moves. And eventually, I think that will break their will. It may or may not happen before a ceasefire or as part of a ceasefire, but I think eventually it will. I just think the odds of that are going up every day, because when this thing is over, they're going to come out of their bunkers and look around at what they've got left, and I don't see how they believe they can carry on. So again, that's speculative, but we will see.
Senator Talent, what about President Trump's primetime address? I walked away with that not feeling like I received any new information. It didn't feel like it pointed us with a great amount of clarity in a new direction or the new phase that this administration was heading into. And I said so much on air, and a lot of the feedback I got was there are a lot of people who aren't hearing the president in his own words offer the clarity, and I'm asking you the question, I should say. The intent and purpose and delivery, the execution of that speech, was it a good primetime speech? Did it need to be made? Do you think it was effective?
Yeah, I think it did need to be made. I thought it was good, and he actually did what I expected him to do, because I never believed all this speculation that he's going to just quit and go. No, he's going to follow through in the mission. He gave the reasons for the mission, the objectives of the mission, and the progress in the mission. In talking about their electricity infrastructure, that was new. He discussed a couple of options. He talked about the Strait of Hormuz and said what I kind of expected him to say, which is, look, we're going to help, but we want getting it open to be a multinational thing. And if you think about it, why would he say that? Well, because if other nations help, and I think we are going to get other nations, then we're the leader of a multinational team to open the strait, which is good for us. If they don't help, then we open it on our own, and that punctuates what we've been saying about the Europeans all along. So it's a plus for us either way. But no, I thought, look, if you want to criticize Trump, criticize him for not doing more of that at the beginning, not what he did the other day. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And you do have to keep repeating these. Now they've done in interviews and comments, they've over and over and over again they really have. But he could have done it and he did. He gave as I recall, remember he was standing there with a cap. He gave some explanation at the beginning. But as I said, if you want to criticize him doing it, criticize him for not doing it early, not for doing it now.
Yeah. And as our listeners, and as we discussed here, reminded me that what is repetitive to people like me who are paying attention to things all the time might be brand new information to those who haven't been so plugged in.
Well, I'll give you a quote you can use. That's a wise old bird early in my political career was talking to me about campaigning. And he said, because, when you campaign, you are giving variations of the same speech over and over and over again. And I was doing it, and I was saying, man, shouldn't I say something new? He said, Jim, when you're sick of saying it, you're just beginning to say it enough.
Oh, well, that is a very interesting perspective there.
And it's precisely for that reason that you're talking to people who have, thank God, the American voters, they have lives to live. They're not focused on issues of public policy or on campaigns. And so you have to repeat it. You really do.
Last question before we let you go. We're speaking with Senator Jim Talent here. The bringing in the campaigning and the politics of the matter. Do you feel as though President Trump is sacrificing good political will right now to do what he's doing in Iran, or is there even a longer game?
I think, if you ask me to grade that, I would give it an incomplete. I think if this mission ends up the way I think it's going to end up, then it's going to be a net plus politically because, there's a line at the beginning of Patton. I don't know if I've said it to you before, but George C. Scott's given his speech, and he said, Americans love a winner and will not tolerate a loser. Okay, so we like our wars short and successful, and this one's going to be short, and I think it's going to be successful. So it'll probably be a net plus, but do I think it's going to be determinative in the fall? Probably not. I think, the extent that outside issues are going to be determinative, it's more likely to be the economy, because that tends to be in other words, domestic issues tends to be on what people vote on because it affects them more directly from their view. So the politics, and I think Trump feels the same thing. This is such a big issue. I don't want presidents to act politically on issues like this.
Yeah,
in other words, either this is as important as I think it is to the national interest and the direct interests of American security, or it isn't. If it is, you got to do it. If you're in that job, you got to do it. You can't say, oh, well, I'm not going to do it because it may cost me some votes. If it isn't in our interest, then don't do it, right? That's how you got to make decisions in that job. If you don't want to make decisions based on that, don't try and become president. You shouldn't have it.
Exactly. Thank you for the time today, Senator Talent. We're praying for that second pilot and, of course, the health and wellness of the first pilot that was recovered. We're grateful for your insight today. Happy Easter.
Yeah, I'm grateful that we've got men and women willing to do this. This is a tremendous feat of arms, and we owe a lot to them.
Amen. Senator Talent, have a wonderful Easter weekend. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Man, that couldn't be better said. There's a lot of politicking that exists around, people with those initial deaths, those really tragic deaths of the friendly fire and then the air refueling collision that went wrong. And those people who have platforms in positions like mine who go on to their platforms and start talking about what people died for and what they didn't die for, that really feels like something that should be defined by the individual and those that know that person. And to try to define from afar why somebody died or what they died for, why they signed up, that's pretty cheap. I will not be doing that here. One pilot recovered. The second pilot, currently the subject of a feverish rescue mission in Iran as an F-15E goes down. We will continue to cover the latest breaking news on this here on our show as we move through the rest of the day. Greg Jarrett is going to be with us in 10 minutes, and we're going to get from him his thoughts on the replacement of Attorney General Pam Bondi, fired yesterday. Who's up next? Our YouTube poll, who should the new nominee for Attorney General be? All four of us here on the Annie Frey Show put our pick into this poll, so we're asking you to vote based on our four picks. Do you think it should be Ron DeSantis? That's my pick. Eric Schmidt, that's Wiggins' pick. Brad chose Andrew Bailey, and Ethan picked Ryan Wiggins. Do not come vote in this poll for Ryan Wiggins. You want to support Ryan Wiggins, you better pick Eric Schmidt, because that would be the right one. Ethan, sorry, man.
I don't really know. I'm kind of torn. So just do whatever your heart says.
I cannot believe how many votes Ryan Wiggins has in this poll right now.
I'm glad to hear that.
I cannot believe that. The whole interview with Senator Talent, were you in your office creating YouTube accounts so
Not
that
the
you
whole interview.
just good portion of it. We'll be right back.